Come and join me on a 4-day paddle from Cricklade to what ended up being just outside of Oxford, through some tricky little channels initially. And then through the odd canoe pass, some beautiful paddles festooned with damselflies and surrounded by bird life. And some lovely, lovely campsites. But the most challenging part of the trip was going from Cricklade over to Lechlade. So here we are, start of the Thames at Cricklade, end of Abington Road. And a very shallow looking river. Here's all the gear. And will we be walking to start with? Starting to get deep enough. Let's see how far we get. Here we go. Quoting from Mark Rainsley's book Paddle the Thames in his chapter Cricklade to Lechlade. Exploring the dense green wilderness of the Thames's upper paddleable reaches is an exceptional adventure, assuming you are prepared to accept a bit of a challenge. Consider allocating more than one day to complete this mini expedition. I of course have to get to Lechlade before the end of the day with my only booked campsite. Mark Rainsley continues, this trip is unlike any other part of the Thames. Overgrown and fallen trees necessitate innumerable ducks and dodges, as well as a number of portages. The channel can become narrow and overgrown with reeds during the summer. Pace is slow. At the time of writing there are perhaps 4 tree blockages, all of which portageable at river level, but more than one involving climbing and lifting. The reward for this slow and heavy going is access to a secret green world. Kingfishers abound, the author spotted water voles and otters here, and the air is thick with insects. Turquoise dragonflies flit from lily leaf to lily leaf. And the pond skater and those small mercurial beetles, the whirligigs, gyrate and skim above the surface of the stream. It was reading all of that that really made me want to do this trip, but I had no more information, had no real idea how long it was going to take, and here I seem to be walking again. I had no idea if I was going to be doing this a lot, or just occasionally. Other than booking a pitch at Lechlade campsite, the rest of the trip is a little bit unprepared. I know you can camp at a number of locks, but I wasn't entirely sure how far I was going to get, nor where my exit point is going to be, and how I'm going to get transport back to the start at Cricklade. But that's all part of the adventure. More wading. That looks better. I had been warned that the swans around here can be a little bit aggressive, particularly if they've got youngsters around. Bit of a tree obstacle, and we're just squeezing through. Interesting obstacle. Need a bit of climbing. Where's the river gone? I can't see any river at all. This is the Thames that flows through London. Just amazing. Finally we get to Castle Eaton Bridge, and so far it's not been nearly as bad as I thought it could be. It's been absolutely fantastic, although I do seem to be walking again. Castle Eaton at 12:42, says 9.9 kilometres remaining, left about 10:30. Suddenly we emerge from the jungles now, and the river seems to start to open up much more, and Lechlade should be around 30 minutes or so away, and the first boats start to appear as the Thames becomes navigable. And just in the distance you can see the spire of St. Lawrence Church of Lechlade, and here's my first sighting of lots of people. And there is Halfpenny Bridge, which is my exit point to the campsite. So Halfpenny Bridge and hopefully the campsite. And this is how it looked on Google Maps. So I'm hoping it's not too long a haul across the field with all the gear to the campsite. There wasn't anything very exciting to film at the campsite other than my own little RAF flyover just as I was settling down. And after a good night's sleep and what might be my last shower for a few days, it was time to pack up and go back to the river. So Lechlade campsite. And now all I had to do was to get all the gear across the field and over to the river. So here we go on day 2, and I expect the next few days are going to be rather different to my first day, with much wider river and boats around. This is the first of 9 pillboxes located along the Thames between Lechlade and Radstock. Constructed during World Wars I and II, part of the British anti-invasion preparation. St. John's Lock, and nice lock keepers will let you through so you don't have to portage all your kit. This was the first of many locks, and I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be like going through these, but actually it was a pretty easy experience, and the lock keepers are really helpful and let you through most of the locks. And now we come up to the only canoe pass which is graded red or intermediate, the Radstock canoe pass. Here we go. this is Shefford Lock, and this is one of the campsites, which looks absolutely beautiful. This is Northmoor Lock, where there's supposed to be a lovely campsite, and that's where I'd hoped to spend the night. But apparently camping's only at weekends, and it gets very booked up with hundreds of people. So on to the next lock. And I finally found a heron sitting by the bankside and caught him on film. And next to him was a lovely white egret. This is the idyllic little camping area, just behind Pink Hill Lock. Again, I had water myself. Absolutely lovely. And from here I've managed to call a taxi company who can pick me up just north of Oxford at the Trout Inn that has good road and river access. So, goodbye Pink Hill Lock. One loaded canoe and final stretch to Oxford. No one around, just have to do it all yourself. So the Thames gradually gets more featureless, and that constant background hum of traffic, which it was lovely to get away from. So, goodbye, peace and quiet. Now I was hoping to go left here, slightly down the river to connect with the Trout Inn, but it looks like it's closed and there seem to be a load of river works going on to the left, so on to the next lock. See if I can loop back again later. After Godstow Lock I'm able to loop back left again, and then slightly further ahead I'll be able to do another left turn. I've turned left again, and the Trout Inn is just ahead, and there's a possible exit point where I could have got out on the right, but I decided to paddle on up a bit higher so as not to have to carry kit very far. How do we get in the Trout Inn? So there's the Trout Inn. Can I get out here? And in fact I could just get out, climb up some rickety steps, and this is why the river seemed to be half closed. There's a load of river works going on, and the river's being held back. And that was trip over for me. All the luggage packed up, and a very welcome pint of lager, which went down extremely well, and some lovely, lovely food. And right on cue, I got a call from a taxi man. Thank you. Yeah, I've been canoeing just from Cricklade.
Oh, you came from here to here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's the beauty of portable and inflatable kayaks. It all fits neatly in the boot, and he's going to take me back to Cricklade and the car trip over.